Macedonian to the 50th, and today I'm going to do a video response to Soul Funk's Retro Arcade memories. So let's get on with it. So the first thing I ever remember seeing in an arcade, and I must be incredibly young here, I mean I was about 3 or 4, is Pac-Land. You know, the Pac-Man game. Little game where it's like a platform, yeah. Now I probably never did play it, but I definitely remember seeing it. I remember being very confused by it at the time, because the only machine I'd played for was the Atari Pac-Man and how different that looked. I remember next to it, I think there was an Indiana Jones and a Temple of Doom as well. Yeah, so I don't know how I can remember that, but I can, so... Yeah, not much else I can really say about that, because for not many years... Another one I definitely remember not playing, but seeing in arcades when I was really young was Space Harrier, just because of that huge machine it had and big dragon on it. Still one of my favourite arcade games, so yeah, enough said about that one. Most of these memories come from the exact same place, a place called an arcade in Morecambe. Because they had a big, massive arcade there. They did a lot smaller, but they did a really big one. Anyway, one I do remember there, but this actually wasn't in the arcade, so we're going to go back to that later, is in the Morecambe Frontierland, where it was big. It was a theme park. It's not there anymore. It's been closed down for years, but it's now home base. Yeah, theme park got turned into a DIY store. I don't know how that works, but well, anyway, I definitely remember one of the machine unit, one of the units, like small like rooms. You get rid of a cafe. They had 2 arcade machines that were only 10p a go, and those machines were R-Type 2, which I kept as the first checkpoint at the time, and Splatterhouse. Now I actually played Splatterhouse 2 by this time, so I knew what Splatterhouse was, but I never played the original game, because obviously it was never released on any European systems, just PC engines, so yeah. I was surprised to see, and they're only 10p a go, and I literally had a few goes at them. Did terribly in both. I mean, I don't think I can even get past the giant killer worms on Splatterhouse. Yeah, and then down the first level, yes, I was pretty crap at it then. Well, anyway, going back to that Morecambe arcade, it might be a few years later this, but I definitely remember one of the last 2D games we played there was a beat 'em up by Konami called Metamorphic Force. You played as a bunch of dudes and you pick power-ups and turn into like werewolves and stuff. You have kind of altered beasts but with weapons. And it had a stupid energy system which constantly health was draining all the time, so you can never one credit it, which was crappy. Which was already in the US version, I think. And the Europe version, well, like than the Japanese version. Well, anyway, I remember getting so far and getting to the first boss that would go up the side and getting completely destroyed. Yeah, I played that game since, but the last game I actually remember playing in the arcade, and this is before the entire theme park. By this time, the theme park was just completely not there. We went one year, and yeah, the park wasn't there. That Frontierland that we usually go to, which sucked because yeah, that was one reason why I went there. I remember playing. They had very few games there at the time. I mean, what used to happen is my parents used to have just have a little drink in a cafe that were in the arcade, and used to give us about 3 or 4 quid. Unfortunately, by that time zone, all the games was £1 a go, so 4 quid did not last you very long. It used to last you a lot longer when there used to be 10p's and 30p credits, but so I had to end up playing one of the cheaper games I had there, which I already had on the PlayStation 1 at the time. And this game nobody really talks about or remembers it. And that was the game Crypt Killer. It was a light gun game by Konami. And to put it simply, it has an art style which, like, you know those old rare Harryhausen movies, old stop motion monsters? It's a light gun game where nearly all enemies look like that. Everything explodes, and yeah, it's a bit pixelated. It actually looked better in the arcade than it is on the consoles. Slightly. It was still pixelated, but it was less pixelated. Oh yeah, and in Japan it has the hilarious name of Henry Explorers, which has to be the greatest name ever. Anyway, the last game I remember playing in that arcade, and it looked pretty dirty compared to everything else. Everything else, these flashy 3D dance mat games and all that by that time, and old racing games and huge modern ones, and then they had this like 1995 arcade game where you're shooting pixelated skeleton sprites, like early PS1 graphics. It looked kind of out of date. And there's some other memories, so I've got some memories in other countries as well with these, so let's get on to the next bit. So, next one is memories. I don't know if this really counts an arcade, but I suppose it does. The Touchmaster machines, I don't know if anyone knows what they are, but they're basically like, technically it was a PC in a box with a touch screen, and he had like card games and like simple mini games. I mean, they were pretty basic. It's kind of stuff you get on a phone these days, but yeah, you get what I mean. Anyway, they had a pairs game on one of them, and a bar we used to go to all the time when we were in holiday in Spain once, and I actually decimated that game. Well, I didn't decimate all the games on it. I decimated one single game on it, the pairs game, because the pairs game had multiple options, and most stupid people picked cars. Now, picking cars on that one, we was playing, was a bad idea, because it gave you loads of pictures of red sports cars in slightly different poses, so it was very easy to mistake and lose, because the game got faster and faster every round, so you had to get faster and faster at doing it. So I found the best way to get a high score in that game, and I think I still have it. Machines probably don't exist anymore, but at the time I was the best at the game. We picked one called Cartoons, which just had some rubbishy looking clip art. Which made the game considerably easier because instead of photographs, it had coloured backgrounds. Simple colour backgrounds, so you could even, you have to memorise it from the pictures either, you can remember it from the coloured backgrounds. And it didn't matter what mode you picked, they all shared the same scoreboard, so yeah, I destroyed that thing, just basically playing the cartoon version, it's supposed to be the kids version, and nobody could beat it. Yeah. So what else? Other games I remember playing in Spain and stuff like that. I remember playing Ghouls and Ghosts in an arcade once. Probably being a bootleg one, but the same fake bootleg machine. But it had a Japanese name, which were a bit weird. My brother got to level 2 in that, 1 credit, which was quite good. What was that? I had to think when that was. It was just a day trip we went somewhere. Oh, I think you were Angora, I don't know, whatever the place, it was a very bad trip, certainly. Everything was shut because we got this trip really cheap, but it was in off season, so nothing was open barely. It was almost like walking around a ghost town every day. So that arcade was pretty much one of the only things I really remember from the holiday. That and sitting in the hotel and constantly playing the Game Boy. Which also the rest of my family was doing as well, because there was that little to do. Also, yeah, they had a bubble bobble machine in there, one of them arcades, and I'm pretty sure I was the only one who ever seemed to play that machine at the time. So like, people would just sit there and just look. You never see anyone going near the bubble bobble machine, but I would always play it and always get like the top high score on it, because it resets every time you turn the machine off anyway. So I'd always get the best score, but at the time the best score then were only level 13, which is, well, kind of crappy for me these days, but oh yeah, another game I used to constantly play in holiday in Spain. Pang. Yeah, I used to play, it wasn't Pang, it's Super Pang, that's a game I played quite a bit in arcades in Spain. You need to find a lot of these older ones in Spanish arcades, and they did UK ones at the time, where UK was just basically ditched anything 2D instantly when PS1 came out, which was pretty depressing, and all prices got too high. And that's the reason arcades are dead to me these days, well in this country anyway. So yeah, and then years and later, we also used to go to Skegness a lot. Now, I don't remember playing that many arcade games in Skegness, even though we used to do the exact same thing we did in Morecambe there. What I do remember though is one year we went there and it was actually my birthday. So we went there and I remember playing House of the Dead 3, and they had an arcade set up and it had 5 lives of credit, and it was fairly cheap. It was like 30p a go, which was a lot cheaper than everyone else had at the game. And we actually completed the game. House of the Dead 3 is the easiest one, but that's probably the only arcade game I've actually properly completed. I mean, I'm not counting games like Point Blank, which is just simple mini games. I mean, one was story, has an ending. Yeah, I completed it. I wasn't expecting to. So yeah, there's that as well. And then I remember playing that many arcades when I went to Florida and all that in times. I remember very little about arcades actually in America. I just remember a very vague memory of seeing a game you shoot ghosts, which I now know is actually Laser Ghost by Sega, which is like Ghostbusters with a light gun. Yeah, most people don't remember that. And then there was college. And you think college arcade? Yeah, college in his like spare room from classes had arcades in it. They kept changing around. I think originally they had Area 51 and a Street Fighter 2. It was funny watching people. I never really played these myself, but I watched other people playing. But it was funny watching people with Street Fighter 2 because they just like completely destroy the game with one credit and then just walk off and leave and not bother writing initials in. I just saw it happen multiple times. Yeah, and so constantly you could tell that Street Fighter Arcade were on because all he did is Hadouken, 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 Hadouken over and over and over again because pretty much no one in that game ever played anyone but Ken. Yeah. So then they had Area 51, they got rid of that because most people weren't playing it. I think they'd House of the Dead for a while, so they got rid of that, so they didn't have many light gun games for that long. And at the time, the only way I actually saw this game running because they didn't have consoles to play at the time. They did Marvel vs. Capcom, the very first one. I remember that game had the use of loads of people playing it, but everyone used to literally just give up once they got to the final boss, Onslaught, because they always get completely destroyed by him. Eventually they took that out and they put a Tekken 3 arcade cabinet in, but no one ever played that either. But no one played that because they put the settings on the highest damage setting and ran around for like 20 seconds, so you was barely on playing the game for like 3 minutes straight and doing the whole story mode. That and it was the arcade version of Tekken 3. The console version is technically a better game, a lot more content as well. Well, no endings in the arcade version either. You just get a credit screen, it's a bit crappy. Yeah, and they had a Star Wars Episode 1 pod racer as well. And then they had Street Fighter 3, I think it was Giant Impact, the second version of Street Fighter 3. That one got played a lot. That one wasn't people constantly just playing as Ken. You saw a lot of people playing as Dudley a lot in that. Yeah. And everyone used to give up on that when they got to the final boss guild because everyone played Street Fighter 3 knows he's pretty a pain in the backside to beat and it's kind of cheap. Yeah, they actually. But then about the last year of college, they just got rid of all the arcades altogether, which was crappy. Because I used to like watching in the spare breaks in between lessons, watching people play them. Oh well. Right, so next one. Let's go back to America again. Right, I think an arcade, I think it's called Fun Spot USA. It's actually on down International. I think International Drive it are on. Well, they had a Guitar Hero machine. Now this one actually is not my story, but this is actually my youngest brother's story. But yeah, I was there, so it counts. Anyway, my youngest brother's brother was just sitting there, standing next to a Guitar Hero arcade machine there. Then some probably 20 to 18-year-olds come up to him and give him a credit, and they both put credit and had a versus match with each other. This guy thought, hey, this is a little kid, I'm going to own him and show how awesome he at this game. Unfortunately, he didn't know my brother's actually very good at Guitar Hero, and he completely destroyed that guy and embarrassed him right in front of his mate. Yeah, getting beat by a 7-year-old. But he got completely destroyed. Trust me, you don't want to try beat my brother at music games. My youngest brother at music games. He's like super good at them. He's like at least in like the top 300 people in the world at one game at the moment called Osu on PC in the UK. So I know this few years later, but yeah, he's really good at music games. I mean, you could not beat him at Guitar Hero. You just know you're not going to win against him ever. Even with them controls, like I said, were buggy and slightly broken, he still could just destroy this guy. And everyone in the arcade clapped when he won because everyone in the arcade was so confused looking at this like 7-year-old kid playing Guitar Hero and actually doing it. And he wasn't playing on easy. I'm going, how does he do that? But yeah, he was really good at Guitar Hero. I remember when he actually beat through the fire and flames and on hard ones. He actually went so ballistic. He actually he actually constantly ran downstairs and asking the dad to ring the middle brother up just to say he beat it. But yeah, don't try to face my brother at music games. You'll probably lose, and that person learn. Right, and the last one, yeah, Disney Quest. I don't know if you've ever. No, I've got two stories about this one. I mean, the first time I went there was 2009, and we didn't even know about the place. Well, we knew the place existed before then, but we never went in it. And yeah, it was me and my middle brother went there, and we were just playing. We went there, and mum, my dad, and my youngest brother went to Kennedy Space Centre. All I can say, they hated Kennedy Space Centre and thought it was completely boring. I remember going there when I was much younger, and it was boring then, so and in 2009 it was probably still kind of dull. Yeah, they're not the biggest fans of Kennedy Space Centre. But anyway, yeah, we just sat there and we just stayed in the arcade in that Disney Quest all day, because it's part of your Disney pass if you get a pass for Disney, so you're getting it admission free if you have one of those 2-week passes. So yeah. Anyway, then we went back the second time. Not much had changed. I mean, I'll actually put video. If I've got video footage of it, I might put some video footage in this video of it. But I did record some footage when I was there last time. Oh, it's pretty crappy. Sorry about the quality, but anyway, yeah. I actually ended up playing. They had a multi-arcade cabinet, had Bull Bobble on it, and yeah, I ended up completely destroying the scoreboard of it. And that was a very hard to get in scoreboard. You had to get like nearly I nearly got 1 million points on the game, which is a lot of Bull Bobble. I have no clue if I've still got the scoreboard on that thing there, but you had to get at least 75,000 plus points within getting the scoreboard of Bull Bobble on that system, because they actually saved scores unlike the arcade one. Well, I did it, and it was the first attempt to play it on an arcade cabinet in years. And literally on that machine for like 20 odd, at least like 30 minutes, just playing through it, one credit lasting as long as possible. Yeah, that was absolutely crazy. Well, anyway, that's all the arcade memories I can think of. I would have a lot more, but unfortunately, I don't live near any arcades. There's no like seaside resorts locally to me, so I can't exactly go to one. So I only really got a chance to visit them when I was growing up as in whole seaside resorts, because that's the only place you saw them. So there's that. So I'd have probably more memories if I lived near seasides, but I don't. So oh yeah, wait a minute, another one. No, ignore that. I've got one last one. Right, Bishi Bashi. Actually, a game called Bishi Bashi Champion. Well, I mean, what's that? You probably never heard of this game, but it was a game by Konami. It was very similar to games like WarioWare, but it was actually made a few years before WarioWare. Same sort of genre as weird mini games, and you played it 3 players. Well, you could play it with 3 players at once. And I remember seeing this when we went on a school trip in high school to Scarborough. And I thought, well, this game's amazing. And then what happened like a year later? It actually came out, and it came out on the PS1, and I've still got that game. I got that for one of my birthdays at Toys R Us at PS1. Great game, that. Really don't get much attention anymore, but no one seems to remember it. It only sold in Europe and Japan. Never actually released in America. Yeah, Bishi Bashi Special. That was a fun game. Very random, very strange. I mean, there's a stage in it where you have to throw a pie, where you're in a wedding reception and you're a bride and groom, and you just have to it's like track and field, where you to like bash the button, like shot put, but instead of throwing the shot put, you throw a pie at someone's face in the who's in the wedding crowd, and everyone claps when you hit them in the face. And there's plenty of other ridiculous things, like a level called Mechanical Pencil Basher, where you guess it, you just rapidly fire the button to drop the lead out mechanical pencils as fast as possible. Yeah, there's lots of silly things in that game like that. Shake the camera out of space with another funny way. You just shake a can like crazy, bashing buttons, and then you get a countdown and it goes into space on like a space shuttle launch sequence. Yeah, that game. Quality game. Well, anyway, that's enough of that. I think this has gone long enough, so thank you for watching.
Never fail. The one last coin, what could I spend it on?